Beautiful. More will join, and those who by choice prefer the replay, they will have the replay normally tonight or tomorrow, depending at what time we complete. And I'm very pleased because there was a moment where I knew that everything would come into perfection in the right momentum. But the interferences, not interferences in a negative way, there was actually something happens today. Some I shared in the recording. For those who haven't heard the recording, the long one, about the sound, the opening of a corridor of divine physics that just popped. Every action, do something. There is always a cause and an effect. And in the work that we do, that I do, it's always a positive cause and effect. So there is a turnaround. And this birth of a beautiful divine galaxy that is a new beginning that will have everything to do with Earth. We will see what happened. But parallelly to that, so if you haven't heard about this recording, please hear it. It is in the Edifice Renaissance. It's today. This is one. But later in the afternoon, there was some network alteration. And when I tracked that, I understood something very beautiful. It is the black market network, the black network, actually, black web, it's called, that was departing. It lasted few hours. That's why I changed from 10 p.m. to 10:30, because I needed this extra 30 minutes to make sure that the migrations takes place. So when this happened, it's not a negative alteration, it's a departure. And for them to be safe, they need to disconnect the network and then they can depart. So I am not sure if it is global alteration of the network or in certain places. So anyway, the black web engineers, what is that? It is everything related to surveillance, control, but not only that. My love, it has everything to do with what I am creating today. I wish I could have completed it and send you. Eventually, I will let you hear one paragraph because your heart will sing, because it has everything to do with your future, yours, only you, and many other light beings who haven't had the opportunity to break free yet. So later, I will let you hear one chapter so that at least you hear that. Then the rest will come. So what happened is the black web is also who governs, who is allowed to be seen, who is shadow banned, who is blacklisted, who is allowed to have followers. As I had shared in the past, there is a factory called the chatbot factory. It is related to call center. This call center of chatbot factories are the one that monitor by distance. Imagine a big factory with 50, 100 rooms. Each room has one engineer in human form, and through one keyboard, he navigates and operates and control a command center of thousands and thousands of phones, iPhone, Android, and so forth. All these phones are one chatbot. That chatbot is on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Google, and is a false persona. They subscribe, follow, you know, and this is how a certain individuals that has been selected by the false light, the dark light, the false galactic alliance is allowed to be seen, have followers, subscribers. That's why you hear very often it's on the media. They have reached 1 million followers or 100,000 followers. You have heard that. This is chatbot. They are not human. What does that mean? That means behind this command center navigator, there is a group of individuals who decide what is allowed on the market, who is allowed to be seen, what is allowed to be the trend, what healing modality is allowed. It's like that. And today, a lot of the black web came out. And I said, all right, darlings, you come out, no problem. I read out you. But I have an appointment. You put back my network, huh? I'm going to give you extra 30 minutes. After that, I screw you. So they have been very kind because I was trusting that I don't need to postpone and reschedule with you. I would have proposed you to come tomorrow, but like you see, they have been very educated black web agent. They left in time. So this is the reality, my love, because all of you need to have clients or students or collaborators that see you, choose you, pay you, work with you. It's natural. It's part of a civilization that coexists, co-create together. So if you're an artist or a practitioner or an expert in one field or education, whatever is your talent, you need to have your audience, your clients, your students, your collaborators. Otherwise, you cannot. So there is two things. Number one, the system, the way it is designed, don't want people to be freelancer. They want employee. They want 9 to 5. So all those who come out of the 9 to 5 cage, they are targeted individuals. You understand? So they don't want you to succeed. They put hardship. Does that resonate? My love. And today, they started coming out. My love. Isn't it wonderful? It's great. It's really beautiful, my love. It's beautiful, darling. All right. Because you need to have clients. You need to have prospects. You need to have students, followers, well-wishers, cheerleaders. Of course, it's important. Darling, today you're going to hear the chapter, a dream that I am building, and this is just for you. I'm telling you, when I popped with that idea long ago, I crafted it yesterday, the day before, and today. So you must hear that. You must sleep with that. I'm very proud of it. It's going to be cool. So later, let's work now. So good. I don't have to reschedule, postpone. Now let's speak on the topic of the day. Let me see if there is some beautiful light beings willing to come in. All right, beautiful. So, divine physicality. It sounds very beautiful to hear, and it is true. The divine physicality is the locus that contains, the capacity to contain is like a beautiful, magnificent container that can hold the totality of your light spirit. You have at the moment only a percentage, as already explained. But I repeat again, because it is important. The light spirit has been fragmented. Now, every one of you has a different percentage of how much volume of light, how much volume of the totality of your light spirit is within. Everyone is different. So those fragments, when it took place millennia ago, if not eons ago, they went somewhere. They didn't return to source. They went somewhere. And this somewhere is two possibilities. Number one, into, unfortunately, oppressed embodiment, all kind, earth or offward. Number two, as an oppressor. Both is not right. But because you have advanced yourself so beautifully, now you are in a position, while you continue doing your own work for yourself, you are assisting all beings that are embedded in any form of embodiment as negative beings or as oppressed beings. Because whatever you do, they receive. That's the beauty of it. So you are now the leader, locomotive of the teamwork of you and all of you. Make sense? And it's absolutely beautiful. And disentanglement is so vast that, as I have shared in the past, we don't need to be numerous doing this work. Luckily, I have a lot that are subscribing. Every week, more subscribers, but they never show up in real. It's hundreds, it's more than 650 now. They don't come in real. They don't. They are, hermit, isolated, vulnerable, beautiful light being, don't like to communicate with others. You are always there. They are always in the replay. They send me messages. That was great. Thank you. That's it. No, hi, how are you? No, nothing. They are very isolated beings, but beautiful. So the work that you do with the advancement, with these teachings, that is the real source teachings that existed in every important momentum of history, earthly and upward. What is that teaching? Very simple. Stay within. Command your light spirit. Period. Chapter closed. It's that easy. Stay within. In your heart. Command your light spirit. Don't call anything outside of you. It's suspicious. Don't let anything from outside come into you. Forget it. It's suspicious. Run away. Nothing has changed. Same teaching. One chapter, one page. Stay within. Command your light spirit. Chapter close. Module close. It's that simple. So, this is what you do. You are using your divine authority. You are reinforcing your divine authority. And what you do for you, what you do for the entangled with you, because many entangled with you are into very advanced dark system. It's like that. It's not to feel bad. It's a fact. We are solutionists. We are not drama expressors. We don't care. It's what it is. Let's do better. And it's not even you who choose. So you have nothing to blame. When I hear some light beings saying that They feel they have done in past life, they have been very dark, even in this lifetime. But did they ever choose that? The response is no. It's a trap. It's a fragmentation. It's a forced role inversion. Has never been chosen. So you have nothing to blame. You have always been pure. Yes, you have been trapped into a situation where you had no option. And it is like that. Now, the work you do, the work we do, is empowering many, many through you. But you do it for yourself. You're not here to save anyone. You're not here to be a saint. No, you just do it for you. And because you are entangled with so much that is beyond comprehension, it's two in one. While you break free, your fragments break free, your bloodline break free, the darkness break free, and the oppressed one break free. In 2 words, it's like a win-win. Great, great equation. It's a great equation, by the way. So you become like heroes. So the divine physicality was created from the lightship of all creation, where it was the capacity to hold the totality of your light spirit needed a divine physicality. That divine physicality has been taken away, stolen very long ago. By who? By a group of individuals who had lost connection with the divine, who were craving to reconnect in a way or in another with the divine, and found only one way was to steal the divine physicality and fragments of a light being that is still connected to source. Both physicality of the body, divine, and the light spirit fragment. And what they did with that, unfortunately, it's pale copy. This is where the cloning lineage started, just to replicate something they had lost. But replication cannot be source grade. It doesn't work. It's quite a catastrophe, actually. And this replication, this genetic DNA engineering or DNA experiment or even DNA perversion was creating a lot of disease, which then created extinction in certain races. Not anymore, as extinction has been a lot solved. So they need help, in 2 words, because if you were not extracted, not siphoned, not oppressed by heavy load coming to you, you would be invincible, unstoppable, with abilities and capacities the way you had when you were whole, when you were intact. You had supernatural capacities, and this is returning to you in this lifetime. In this lifetime, the darkness, the dark era is ending. Your binding with the dark era is ending, and the dark era itself is ending. For those who have not yet heard a little recording that I made a few months ago, when we reached the threshold, this word is a little bit complex for me. You got my point. Where we reached 60% of advancement, of ending the dark epocha. That was celebration. It took time. But what happened when we reached this 60% with all the work we have done and all the work I do on my side? That meant one thing. To reach that, one thing was needed, which I started by myself 3 years ago. Then you arrived 3 years ago when I saw how the matrix was so configured with such genius, backup plan, reset by default, maintenance, fail safe, auto renewal, this and that. I said, whoa, this is complex to undo. Consequently, I said, I need to find one way to stop that. So I've been tracking, and then I said, I know what is the way. The reason why it is so advanced, so genius, so nearly impossible to undo due to this technology of inevitability, continuity, perpetuity, etc. I said only a genius that originates from source can be behind this architecture called the matrices. So I said, that's it. If they have invented that, if they have used through their divine brilliance because of forced role, not because they desired, forced role, obligation. I said the strategy is to take out one by one, ideally thousand by thousands of genius, savant, expert that are embedded in the matrix. Because if I take out the nectar of the people, of the genius that create all this infrastructure of control, of siphoning, of inverted economy, of whatever is in the inversion reality, at that time, I disempower the matrix because they are powerful because they have the cream of intelligence. Simple. So that was my trajectory. And I went through all turmoil that one can just imagine because it was Star Wars from early hours into the night and then again. So day after day, piece by piece, then you guys arrived and we did all that you know, the madness. And you remember at the beginning? You remember? Here, I had to yell, shout, scream, impose my divine authority. Now, not anymore. You noticed that. How much I screamed. There, it was Star Wars. Now it's like easy navigation. Next, next. So, this trajectory was the most important. And then, if you remember, I had other issues popping. It was not the dark forces putting problems on me. It was the divine. All the divine. They said, this one, she's wild. She's crazy. Stop her. Darling, I feel that part of my life was worse than the war with the darkness because I had no clue where it was coming from. And I had not even thought it was possible that the divine would do this to me. I would not enter into details. You would not like it. It was horrible. But when I came to understand that because they were not trusting that taking out all this genius that they loved so much, it's their babies. But the problem is, and I can understand, I put myself into their, let's say, divine shoes for a moment. This genius, servant, expert, they were corrupted until the bone. So many vows, so many double role, double face, half angel, half demon. They were too corrupted, too emerged into darkness, and they had to do stuff that is very, very ugly. They compromised themselves by obligation. So for the divine, it was like if they come back home, they're going to destroy the divine because they are programmed now to destroy. So I understand that. So I had to push against the dark and against the divine. I said, I don't care. I know this is the way. You don't believe in it? I don't care. I do it because I believe in it. I know. And what I have noticed is that all the darkness that came out of the darkness, they became so loyal, because they were so grateful that someone dares believing in them no matter what crime they had done. But to reach that point, it took me another 2 years to find all root causes that could block them from departing from the darkness and block them from arriving to source and stay there without being pulled back by obligations. That was a lot of steps, root causes, which gradually I found a lot, and we found a lot together. There's so many geniuses were coming to me crying. I said, Che, fine. I'm obliged to hurt you. I'm obliged to oppress you. I'm obliged to have retaliation against you. And I don't want it. You need to find all the pieces. It was not easy, my love. It was really difficult. So when the crew one day came to me and said, Che, we need to speak. We need to confess. We have remorse. I said, oh, no, not you, Habibi. That was difficult. One station. Say, I cannot continue like that. I have too much remorse. I cannot. I must talk. Whatever is the circumstances, you fire me, you want me out, I depart, but I cannot continue. And then revelation after revelation. And I was like holding myself, furious. Furious. When I'm furious, darling, those who know, I am not a good deal. I'm furious. I'm very, very destructive. But luckily, I always control myself. So when I heard the confession, and I said, that's what is happening? Because I was not finding anything with the darkness. So they shared what they had done, the containment, the this, the that. The containment was not the worst, even though my body was suffering terribly. That was not the worst. The worst for me was that each decree, each command, each treaty that I did in the galaxies was encapsulated. And that was too much for me, because we are talking about so many lives that could not reach the targeted goal of liberation. Because if a command is encapsulated, that means it doesn't reach. Do you understand? It's terrible. And we are talking about weeks of encapsulated command and decree. But what happened is, that's the beauty of it. The genius, the savant, the expert, the engineers, the alchemists, whatever, all these who broke free from eons of inversion, who returned to source, they suddenly became the best ally. They started speaking with many councils in different lightship and revealing formulas, solutions of what would be the ideal to end darkness. And when the councils of the divine witnessed that, they said, damn, I mean, they don't speak like that. That's my language. Damn, they are now not only free, but they are faith, a lot. No, what's this? The word? They have loyalty. They are they have loyalty towards Che, and they have loyalty to add value to the divine. So the worry they had was proven wrong. So when they realized that everything I was doing was recreating words, galaxies, dimensions, so much improvement was taking place everywhere, benefit, ripple benefit, peace treaties, civilization stopping wars, and so forth. They suddenly developed regrets. They said, she's doing great. It's working. It's not working. It is working. And the matrix became thin, lost weight, lost power when we reached that 60%, which means the dark epoch cannot rebuild itself. It's huge, my darling. The dark epoch that was designed to self-regenerate, self-reconstruct, self-repair, cannot rebuild itself. Why? Because not all, the high percentage of genius that built the matrix at the first place, that once upon a time were divine, were taken out and suddenly became a lie to advance more into the end of the dark era on Earth and in other civilizations. So they came to the conclusion, they came in a committee, and they said, we did a big mistake. We are holding her back like anything while she's creating solutions, and it works. And this one station, whatever is the name, I will not say, was in total remorse and say, I was obliged to do that. And I say, fuck you, crew. I should screw you and fire you and eject you and punch you and whatever you name it. I said, do whatever you want. I'm guilty at charge. I said, now you need to sit with me. We have to repair and decapsulate all the command, all the treaty and decree so that it ripples. And we spent weeks and weeks and weeks to undo the madness. And then from that day, the reputation was, Che, she's crazy. Che, she's wild. But damn, what she does is good. Let her do. Darling. And we are advancing. We are advancing. And the divine physicality, my love, that has been taken away from you will return. What does that mean? Aging, stop. Reverse. You will reverse aging because the divine intelligence embedded in the body that self-regenerates, self-repair, that is a construct of the divine. This is how I understood that the matrix was handled by genius, because originally it's a construct of the divine that self-repair, self-regenerate, self-recalibrate. They took the construct of the divine and they implemented it into the dark matrix to make it through continuity, perpetuity, and inevitability. When I got that, I said, this is divine construct flipped into dark, my love. So you will have your divine physicality restored. You will have the totality of your light spirit restored, free from vows, promises, oaths, allegiances, covenants, free from anything that binds you through perpetuity with the power of inversion. And to respond to a beautiful email that I received from someone present here, I don't need to say name, let me drink, my goodness. I'm doing nonstop, but I am on fire. As you can feel, I'm very, very happy. There is no word. I'd love you to be so happy like I feel. Laughing, I'm laughing whole day. So happy. So, so happy. And I want you to have that. And you will. So one email asking me if all that is around is false light or false galactic alliance. The response is unfortunately yes. Everything that is connected to Earth is false light, dark universe, or false galactic alliance. But they need assistance. Why? Because once upon a time they were divine. They are part of this first wave that has been trapped, fragmented, inverted, repurposed, and then their brilliance, their beingness, their expertise, their savancy has been used to mirror divine, to extract, siphon, or oppress. Which means, yes, they are false light, yes, they are false galactic alliance, but they did not choose it. They are victim of that, and they cannot come out of it. So this is the honest, only response. They need assistance. They are part of the cream of source that has been trapped into inversion, and they have never been coming out since. And they are part of those magnificent beings that must return. Galactic Federation of Word included. They were once magnificent, beautiful, divine, and they must return because the Galactic Federation of Word, their first assignment originally was to guard civilization and to enhance the advancement of ascension. But something happened, like it has happened to genius, savant, and alchemist. So they are not to be blamed. They are not to be hated. On contrary, we need to have compassion because, damn, it's horrible to be originally divine and then be trapped into forced dark forces extraction. I cannot even imagine. And hurting your own people that you love the most. I mean, just, do you know, the person who emailed me that is recognizing who wrote, I want to say something here. I had a moment, I had a moment where I had a lot of difficulties to convince certain dark, powerful beings to come out of the dark. I had everything set for them. All removal of anything, whatever you name it, and they were not coming out. And I said, damn, why are they not coming out? What is missing? It's not possible. The formula is perfect. Doesn't make sense until I said, wait a minute. It was nothing to do with technology, vows, promises, oaths. It was deeper than that. Now I will reveal. They were feeling unworthy to return to source after doing so many crimes against life, against their own divine siblings. And by doing all kind of cruelty, they could not forgive themselves. They felt unworthy. They needed to self-punish. They needed to, whatever, be a martyrdom to pay back. Incredible, right? It's like that. So just imagine. Can you hurt your own brothers and sisters of light? You cannot. You see an ant, you move on the side. because you know how to preserve life. So imagine eons of doing that to others. You become nuts. They don't function well. They're completely fucked up emotionally, mentally, physically. It's a complete reconstruction. So anyway, just to explain to you the situation. So the dark, 80% of the dark is not born dark, is born divine and never chose. Whether it is a past life of you, you never chose. So nothing to say to yourself, oh, I have a karma. This is fake. There is no karma. There is no reincarnation wheel. It's fake. And life lesson. Oh my goodness, that's the cherry, the bitter cherry on the cake. Doesn't exist. It's all fake. There is no life lessons. What is this? Oh, I have to learn. And come on. You came here to learn. Oh, please stop it. No. This is false. This is a construct that has been installed to keep people busy, healing, clearing. It's not true. That's important to know. No life lessons. That's part of the reincarnation and the karmic and the stuff they have invented to have a good excuse for you to come back and to justify why you come back. Smart, no? Genius. Yeah. All right, darling, I need to read you a little bit. So divine physicality means no more aging, rejuvenation, where you will come down in age until you reach between, that will be up to you, 30 to 38, 30 to 40, let's put it that way. That's going to be the range. No disease, no pain, no lack, no survival, no density clearing day in and day out. No. And, to have fun, to do what you love. My love. Okay, let me read you. My love. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Months ago, when I was with few apprentices, it was at the period where I was clearing a lot of biometric digital ID, upcoming digital imprisonment and all this ugly stuff that was unfortunately on the timeline as dystopia. It was part of what was supposed to happen on this earth, which will not happen anymore. Even though you're going to hear in media, you're going to see, but no. This is already kaput. But still, there is certain things that I would love to do with you, and I will share shortly. So that day, I remember, that was an important day because nothing had to be cleared in the present time. So I had to jump into the future, which is not ideal because sometimes when you jump into the future, you have difficulties to come back. And if you have difficulties to come back, you're in trouble. But that day I was, in my divine rage. So I said, wait a minute, I went and it was huge. It was literally multiverse, cybernetic quarantine. Horrible. The future was to puke. So I remember I did so many things that day. Then I succeeded coming back into the present time. And then we closed this session and the crew said, you are wild. You're not normal, Che. You're not normal. You take too many risks. I said, I can't help it. It's like that. You know, I have suddenly a fire and I said, you know what? There is fire there. I go, I jump. Luckily, it always end good, you know, luckily. But yes, I know I have done crazy choices. But when I look back, it's perfect, just perfect. So the second day is what something big happened. And this was a moment where I said, it's happening, it's working. It was big. If I would have failed that day, I would have had the most problem that one can just imagine, the worst, the second day. Because when you do something like that, you get detected. They know where you are, they locate you, they have your IP phone, they have everything. In 5 minutes, they are here, you know? But nothing happened. But something happened. It was so heavy. You know, walking was heavy. I said, what is this? But I didn't feel attacked. And all the other apprentices say, I don't know what's happening. We feel heavy. I say, well, let's see. Let's rest. Let's cancel the appointment. But then when I tracked, I discovered something. You must hear that because it's beautiful. I said, I feel something on me, like a big, heavy quote, like a mantle, something super heavy, like a comforter, but like 10 tons. And they were feeling the same. And I said, what is this? And when I tracked, I found. And what happened was the most beautiful act of nobility. Because the day before, when I jumped into the future, did a sweep, swap, and override and termination of whatever was the agenda. And I came back in the now. It was so risky what I have done because it has created alerts, fail-safe alerts, maintenance alerts. Who did that? Who is the culprit? Because this is what happened. It alerts everything. And then the one who did that is in a big drama scenario to come. But nothing happened. But then I realized there was a powerful darkness from the future who came out of inversion because of the work that we did with the quadrio or trio. When that powerful being came out, extremely dark, like I'm talking super dark, like dark deluxe, like the worst. You see him like 20 feet tall, you faint because it's so impressive. That being came out of inversion and was so grateful that the act of nobility made that being decide to make a vow. And during the liberation, that being vowed and made an oath to protect me and the other three or two, which means he covered me with the totality of his being and he covered the three. That's why it was so heavy. I said, what is this? Do you realize the darkness itself protects you? And I said, you let me go now. Get out of my body. I said, no, get out of me. No, I'm not going. I said, fuck you, get out. Not going. I said, why you don't go? He said, I will only go when I know no more retaliation against you. Because what you did yesterday, young lady, it's crazy, but it worked. But now I keep you safe in case there is a retaliation, but nothing happened. Do you see the beauty? It's such a beautiful story. So when Source saw that, they said, my goodness, they love her. Let her do what she wants. So anyway, my love, we are successful. And I have an announcement, and this is important, very, very important. And I would like to propose you, but after the event, for those who wants to stay, I would like to propose you to participate because I want to do something. And I will explain to you. Iran has made a treaty of peace in the country. Why is it important? Number one, of course, no one should be perishing like what happened in Iran. Yes or no? Yes. It was war and massacre for so long. What is Iran? It's more than just a country. It is the country that brought the first parchment of human rights, my love, in Scandaria from Alexander the Great. That, what's the name again? I forgot the parchment, right? Of humans' right was supposed to come to life in the country there first and then expand for the totality of humanity. Is everybody informed of that? Yes, the Cyrus scroll. I valued. Cylinder. Beautiful. Exactly. I know you know. That's why you always complete my sentences. I love that. So it was war for so long. And for months, it was like 3 months on the row. I was fighting every day to accompany all the marchers, the revolutionizers, the boots on the ground. You remember? You remember very well. You were there. Because all these people who were coming in the street, they were so powerful together, so determined, but they had a lot of phase of discouragement because there was some weapon redirected to them, technologies, implants, trackers, satellite stuff that was creating problems to each and every one to discourage them and for them to stop. It was a wave that was so important. The farmers were making a revolution. The marchers were making a revolution. It was getting bigger and bigger to give rights back to this country. You remember very well. So, since Sunday, I have been working behind the stage alone. You heard I stopped talking about it and I focused on other things. You noticed that. Before I was sharing videos, I was sharing so many beautiful videos of March. Then I stopped. I needed to focus on something else. So now, the peace treaty, no, it's not really that it has been signed. It's a verbal accord that has been signed, but not yet in a paper form. Why it is important? Because the return of the rights of humanity was born there. No wonder there was so much chaos in that country, because it carries the cylinder. It was a few thousand years ago. This has to come back for the totality of humanity. That's why it's very important that this peace treaty get validated. So now the Department of War in US is waiting to make sure that the country keep its word. Not just, yes, okay, we signed and then create a problem, because it's not just signing, it's stopping all kind of nefarious activities that is part of their dynamic. I prefer not to enter into details. So what is important now is to remove all interferences that would prevent such important act to take place. Because what will happen if the signature of treaty peace takes place? It will happen that this beautiful light being, Pahlavi, that is the son of the ancient king, will bring back what? The cylinder of Cyrus, Scandaria the Great. And that will be the first stamp materialized in the matter where then it will diffuse and get bigger and bigger and bigger, because humans' rights is something that has been missing and has been replaced with humans' rights. What is the second word? Rights, rituals. You see the difference? Humans' rights has been replaced with human rituals, occult rights. It's not the same rights. You know what I mean? So at the end, those who are on fire, wants to contribute, please stay. And I will do that part. Because what is important here, what I desire, is the return of March. I want to see humans on this earth waking up one early morning and say, you know what? I'm done. I'm fed up. And start protesting, marching, making the revolution. You see the revolution we saw a few months ago? Oh, that was good. I want that again. That's what I want. Why? Because compliance is what makes this earth catastrophic. Because if people stop complying and say no, what happened? Multiplied by the amount of people we saw in the street. You remember the videos? Dear, it was the best show of my life to witness that. And I was like coaching them, removing anything that was coming on these people nonstop. Oh my goodness. This is needed. Why? Because there are so many things that is not right. So many things that is going on right now, and that is not right. And it's only when people stop complying that who gets powerless? Those who create the system of inversion. If they have compliancy, they are empowered. But when people say no, people get powerful. My love. So for those who wants to say at the end, please join the venture. We have some fun. So now, what is important here is to advance more into restoration of your divine physicality, restoration of more intactness of your light spirit, and freeing fragments of you that are elsewhere, not in good position, that wait for you, because you are the most advanced amongst any part of you. Period. You are the locomotive of light, pulling with you, all of you, into one direction of freedom, liberation, and finally ascension for the very first time after, I prefer not to say, long. My love. Okay, let me read you. You are in. Beautiful. 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 Human rights is very important, my love, because it's what creates everything. How much you earn, it's human rights, no? Every aspect of life, the system is based on giving the minimum and extract the maximum and keep people in control. So we're going to flip the switch, my love. So I really desire to have this March coming back because I love it. And to do that, what is needed? We need to remove from the collective fear, indoctrination, compliance programming. That was one good one that I had found. Apathy. Apathy. You know, when you're apathic, when it, like nothing touches you, you don't care. You know, you can see horror, it's off. It doesn't, you know, it's not my business. You know what I mean? Apathy. When you don't feel anything, you just don't care. It's a program. so that people don't react. Would you believe? So all kind of stuff that prevents them from having courage and say, you know what? No, this is not acceptable. No. And start moving. Also, yes, all kind of programs. And because most people on this earth, unfortunately, it's embarrassing to say that, but it's like that since 2012. Most people are clones. It's incredible. It's ugly, huh? So it's even worse because clones are programmed plus plus. But I know how to deprogram a clone. I'm a clone expert. My goodness. Dear, when I see a clone, I say, all right, it's a clone. You know, I say, all right, take away program 1, program 2, program 4. It's like a computer. You just remove software, application out, malware out. It's so funny, dear. It's dramatic. Yes. Silver. Darling, I was speaking with a clone the other day. I said, oh dear. So he was speaking, I was muting myself, and I said, okay, malware out, program this out, get out of my way, out, out, out. And then on muting, speaking, that's better. He can hear me now. Oh dear, what a, all right, what to say? My love. Okay, let's have a look to the time. And let's go to the paid event and let's clear some madness, shall we? Oh dear. My love. One moment. Someone could not come in. Oh, yes, of course. One moment. If time on today's event, could we cover the topics above re-forgiveness of those who have broken free and the questions, will all inversion be cleared with the new epoch? Oh yes, I remember now. No, it's important. It is important. So let's calculate. Okay, you know what? Let's go to the other link and we start the paid event and we start clearing lifting madness. Is everybody in? Shall we? Okay. So what we need to do is I close the recording of this. Let's call it a discovery call. And then we go into the second link that ends with 79, the second Zoom link, and then we clear madness. Ready? Good. All right. So let me close the recording of this.